So it's been 2 years since the release of the DJI RS3 Mini, and now they have updated it with the new DJI RS4 Mini. Now, I know what you're asking, what's new, what's the same, and is it worth the upgrade? So, let me break it down for you. Also, full transparency, this video is not sponsored by DJI or in any way. They don't even know I'm making this video, but this video is sponsored by Artless, but more on that later. So if you're someone who loves traveling or to have their equipment light and compact, you're probably gonna love this gimbal. So the RS Mini lineup is tailored to someone who is a solo filmmaker, videographer, content creator, vlogger, or you do a lot of real estate videos. And the selling point of this lineup is to have a light and compact gimbal while putting a decent amount of camera and lenses. First of all, I just want to appreciate how this gimbal looks. I love the silver and gray color combination, and because this is a new color from the gimbal lineup, it's such a refresh and it overall looks timeless. Not only did they update a new color, but they also integrated some of the features we love from its bigger brother RS4 and RS4 Pro. First, the DJI RS4 Mini now has the second gen automated axis lock, which is one of my favorite features in the RS4 lineup. It saves me a lot of time and effort locking and unlocking the axis, and it helps me more than I thought it would be. Second is that the DJI RS4 Mini now has a third gen native vertical shooting, which has a more versatile locking mechanism. Because what I noticed with my regular RS4 is that when I do native vertical shooting with the cage, the locking mechanism usually gets in the way, and sometimes you can't even lock it, which is annoying. Now with the DJI RS4 Mini, you can finally flip the locking mechanism 180 degrees and lock it easily. I love this feature, so I really hope that they apply it in other axes as well. The RS4 Mini also now has Teflon coating, which better protects it from scratches, but it's mainly for a smoother and easier balancing experience. Now they also have included the DJI 4th Gen stabilization algorithm for better stabilization, and that is also optimized for vertical orientation. I'll give you a test and a comparison footage later in the video. It also has the fine-tuning knob, which is good because it's one of my favorite features, and I wish they would have included it to all axes, but I'm not sure how the engineering goes with that, but hopefully though. Another noticeable addition is that it has now the gimbal mode switch on the side for quick navigation. We also get the joystick mode switch on the left side, which is nice. And in terms of screen, it is still the same. We still get the 1.4 LCD touchscreen, very responsive, no complaints there. They also added a new magnetic AI tracking module, which is helpful especially if you're shooting by yourself or with a person, and all you have to do is raise your hand just like you're saying hi to the gimbal, and it will track you seamlessly. In the box, they also included a native smartphone mount, which is nice, but I usually don't use my smartphone for any gimbal work, but it's there for you if you need to switch it up. Now for the battery, compared to the RS3 Mini, we now get 13 hours of runtime instead of 10, which is great because the battery from the RS3 Mini has already been good for wedding filmmakers, content creators, but having more battery juice is always reassuring. It now has a faster charging time, at least on paper. It is now 1 hour and 50 minutes instead of 2 hours and 30 minutes for a full battery charge. Lastly, we still get a non-detachable battery, which is kind of a bummer because I would love it to be detachable just to make it easier to put it away or just for general traveling. The payload capacity is still the same at 2 kilograms. I think this is good enough for solo shooter, but I really wish they would have increased it for a little bit. Maybe 2.2 or 2.5 kilograms would be nice, but you can definitely put a 24 to 70 millimeter zoom lens. And upon my experiment, I was able to put the Tamron 35 to 150 millimeter f2.8, which we all know how big and heavy this lens is. And balancing it with the Sony a7S III can be a little tricky because you have a limited space on the roll axis, but overall you'll be good with the 24 to 70 zoom lens with additional accessories. The weight of the RS4 Mini is 890 grams. It's the same as the RS3 Mini, but comparing it with my regular RS4, I can definitely feel the weight difference. But hopefully they can switch off the arm axis to a carbon fiber material so it's even lighter, and that would be hype. The general difference from Mini to a regular RS4 are the arms. The RS4 Mini has thinner arms, and the first base plate is not compatible with a regular RS4 or RS4 Pro. But the second quick release base plate is compatible. Now talking about price, at the time of filming this video, they only gave me an approximate range of $300 to $370 for the gimbal alone, and if you choose the combo version, it will be around $370 to $450. So when it is launched, this video will be live and you'll have a more accurate pricing on their website. And now is the perfect timing to talk about the sponsor of this video, Artlist. I've been using Artlist since I started my filmmaking and tech journey for social media, client work, and all of my other projects. So I'm super excited to have them sponsoring today's video. So now when it comes to creating videos, Artlist is known for their outstanding library of music and sound effects. But recently, I've been using their LUTs for all of my projects, and it's probably one of the features you'll enjoy once you have Artlist integrated into your workflow. So if you go to the LUTs tab, there are over 300 high-quality LUTs that you can select from. Highly curated and mastered by professional colorists in the industry, and Artlist makes it easier for you to find the right color grade for your footages because they categorize it by style, tone, and you can even further filter it by saturation, temperature, and contrast. Now, what's amazing is that you can even use their slider to see a before and after before even downloading the LUT itself. And you can even use different footages to see how it applies in different scenarios or even something similar to your project. So I think one of the most popular color grade nowadays is retro. Scroll down, and I've been recently loving the nostalgia LUT. So let's quickly apply it to this shot. So this definitely makes it more cinematic, and I'm really digging the retro vibe. So if you like it too, try it out for yourself. So head to artlist.io or click my link in the description below to get 2 months for free if you sign up for an annual plan. Thanks again, Artlist, for sponsoring this video. So here's what you've been waiting for. Now let's do a quick stabilization test and a comparison with the regular RS4. So we're here to test out the regular RS4 compared to the RS4 Mini. So for this one, we'll do like regular walking and then running. We're gonna try different focal lengths and also parallax. That's a little bit difficult shot, but I hope that helps with the stabilization test. Yeah, so. This time we are trying out the RS4 Mini. Let's see how it goes. Yeah? Let's go to the location again. It's quite cold, so we have to take a break in between the testing because I just recovered from a cough, so. So in my opinion, after analyzing the footages, it seems like the RS4 Mini can keep up with the regular RS4. But when you compare the running footages, you can definitely see there's more jitters on the RS4 Mini. And comparing the parallax shots, it's actually quite hard to see the difference. So the RS4 and RS4 Mini are almost the same. And in my opinion, if you get the RS4 Mini, you'll be getting almost the same stabilization performance as a regular RS4, but with a few trade-offs. So overall, the DJI RS4 Mini is such a good gimbal for a solo shooter, wedding videographers, content creators, travel vloggers, and I think it encouraged me to use this gimbal even more with my content creation just because it's light and compact. And I just have a few suggestions to make it maybe a perfect gimbal. One, maybe switch up the arms into a carbon fiber material so it's even lighter. Two, a detachable battery just so it's easy to put it away or even for traveling purposes. And three, I'm not sure how the engineering goes with this, but I would love to have a fine-tuning knob on the roll axis. But overall, I love this gimbal. Those features that they added are technically a huge update from the RS3 Mini. If you're coming from an RS4 or RS4 Pro, technically you have all of it. And if you're asking, is it worth upgrading from the DJI RS3 Mini? And to be honest with you, I can definitely say yes, just because of all the features they added that makes it more convenient and saves you a lot of time and effort when it comes to filming and shooting during the set. There's definitely a thin line in terms of the performance between the RS4 and RS4 Mini, but I think it's worth upgrading because they elevated the user experience, making it more convenient for fine-tuning, easier mode switch, and the auto-locking that saves you a lot of time and effort even during the set. Lastly, if you don't have a gimbal just yet, and if you're looking for a light and compact, I think this gimbal is for you. It's such a perfect partner for a solo shooter, and if you're just starting out, this is not as expensive as the RS4 or RS4 Pro. So do let me know if I forgot something. I'll try to answer it as much as I can in the comments below. Please subscribe to my channel because there's a large portion of you that are not. Hit like for the algorithm and comment on what you think. Follow me on my social media, and as always, have a great day, stay faithful, and here are some of my videos if you want to check my channel. Peace out.